feet are flat on the floor, and really try and feel the sensation of the earth, whatever surface is underneath you, through the soles of the feet. And Jennifer, for you, you can just kind of maybe remember, but you've got probably your back on the couch, so try and feel the sensation of the support underneath you. This is just something we're doing to ground ourselves. And for those of you who are sitting, your knees are hips width apart and shoulders aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen the spine. And take a nice deep breath. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And then just be aware of sounds in your environment, just allowing them to be there. And then just notice what's arising in the mind. And it doesn't matter, whatever it is, just allow it and be happy to be seeing it. And then also be aware if it's a thought that might be not such a happy thought, just be aware that it could change at any moment. And we just put ourselves on the bank of our river and just check in the color of the water, the quality of the water. And just watch it flow on by. This is an analogy for our mind. And just know that while you're sitting on the bank and you're watching, you're observing, you're free from the river. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, your dear friends, those people who are kind of precious in your life. And then there's those people in your life who you don't like so much. And then there's our strangers, and they all can change place at any time. This friend, this one you don't like, and this stranger. And maybe that's happened for you as well. And then think that they're all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So I think there is no negativity that we can't purify. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We're creating negativity with our mind, so equally we can create positivity instead. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret, is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we will experience, and we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want their future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and then think again, I'm sick of suffering, and then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So we're not looking particularly for a higher power. We're not looking for a God who's going to give us all the answers and absolve us of any of our sins, so to speak. We're looking for methods to do the work ourselves. So we're taking responsibility here. So imagine this beautiful Buddha above the crown of your head. He's made of radiant, blissful white light. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So here's a little bit on compassion, also part of reliance. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing a wish for them to be free from suffering. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you will cause them suffering. And it may ripen at any particular time. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And this is, now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramamimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramamimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramamimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramamimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida me boa, Sutokaya me boa, Sipokaya me boa, Anurakta me boa, Sawasidi me piazza sawa kama sita me, Sitam shiam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajra me mutsa vajra bawa mahasamaya satva a humpe. And Bajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Bajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shiam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Humpe and Bajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Bajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So be delighted that any harm you've done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe and Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe and vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a humpe. And vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a humpe. And Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitsa Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Humpe and Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe and vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum te. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately now sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a dark room, pitch black room, and you flick on that switch and the light instantly dispels the darkness. So the same here, the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and neediness, bitterness and grudges, depression, anxiety, resentment, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiata Sawakama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hongpe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine Vajrasattva very happily sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta miboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Ambajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta miboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Ambajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So maybe just we can meditate on that for a minute. We have a little time. And just try and expand your mind. And the fourth and final step in the purification process is resolve, the power of resolve. And this is a really crucial step. And this is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind, to refrain from harming. And without this determination, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again, our habits, our energy habits. And this kind of decision that we make becomes, it's an aspiration. And it becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions, positive directions. So, everything exists on the tip of the wish. So we want to wish for ourselves to not harm, to not ever be in a position or in a situation where we are in a way forced to harm, or we're in a situation where we do harm. So think of something you'd like to work on, something that is, easy. Start with the easy stuff. Give yourself a reasonable timeline. It could be as simple as reaching for that extra chocolate chip cookie. And you say, oh, I've had enough here. So think carefully about what it is you want to refrain from doing. And then make a determination to try and reach that goal. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. Just slowly, little by little, make your way there. This determination to not do again is what gives us the strength to change. Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown and think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, a little bit on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, let your mind rest there for a moment. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So you just never know what's going on, really. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created by doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And also dedicate for our very precious Jennifer there to get well quickly, to heal quickly, and for Hin, our very precious Hin. And for any of you who've got friends who are ill or having problems right now, just dedicate for them as well. And you're just sending them out positive, supportive, good thoughts from your heart, and dedicate the merit that we've created in this practice for them. And then dedicate a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long. And we sort of take his presence in this world for granted. So just pray that His Holiness can stay longer and longer and longer for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And then for any of your own teachers. All right, everyone. Sweet dreams, lots of love. I haven't worked out what I want to do tomorrow morning, but if any of you have any suggestions, let me know.